Hey guys, welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine, and this is the show where we're going to be discussing the first T20I between South Africa and India, which kicks off on Sunday. And we're also going to be going through the press conference or the press audio file that we received from a player that is part of the squad that we most likely will probably see start, and that is Matthew Brzezinski. We're going to react to that together and have a listen to that as we go along. And this is the show all about that particular game. We're going to discuss the squad. We're going to look at it in detail, give you an update on the squad, and discuss all the various things leading up to this particular game. But before we get going, before we get started, there's a couple of things I'd like you guys to please do. First and foremost, can you subscribe to the channel? Please click that notification bell for all future videos. It really will help us if you could do so. The subscribe button is, if it's red, it shouldn't be. Please subscribe and click that notification bell. If you haven't yet, please download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. We have released the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics Magazine. And it is all about how the Proteas move forward now. What is the new Proteas going to look like? Giving us updates about the different players that are going to be involved in this particular series now and how important that is. It's also trying to look at what the thought process is from the coaches going into this particular new. You could say it's almost like a continuation of the start that the two new coaches have. What is next? The plan for all formats. That's what the show is all about. We have an exclusive as well in here from Lance Klusner about chasing, as well in the magazine. An exclusive from Neil Brandt as well that I'd like you guys to please go and read. And a very interesting story and feature on David Bedingham. So please go ahead and check that out. And I'm also very excited to announce something new that we have launched recently. It is the Cricket Fanatics Magazine Business Corner. Please go ahead and go to our Cricket Fanatics Mag Business Corner. If you know any businesses that are looking to promote their brand, market their products or services, then the Cricket Fanatics Magazine is the best place for you. It's the most affordable and most effective way for you to market to your business. So please go ahead and check it out and book a call with us so that we can discuss what best works for your business, what best works for your entrepreneurial journey, what best works for whatever business you have in mind. If you know of any businesses, please send them to the link as well. It will really help us out there. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Looking forward to discussing this with you guys. A very good evening and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine, and this is your preview show. I'm your host Khalid Moedin, and this is the show where we talk about everything that has to do with the T20I series versus India. We are going into the first T20I, which is going to kick off on Sunday in Durban, and there is breaking news that came out about, not breaking news at this moment, but it was breaking news a couple of like an hour ago, where there is going to be an injury update that I'm going to be talking to you guys about. So Lungingiri has been ruled out of the T20I series. That was the news that was given to us recently from Cricket South Africa. I will read out the press release just to give you some more details on it. But it says that the 27-year-old has been released from the squad and will return to his provincial team when he will undergo his rehabilitation with the Momentum Titans under supervision of the Proteas medical team. Initially, he was expected to play the round of four-day matches from 14th till the 17th of December in preparation for the two-match test series, but instead he will further assessed by the medical team on his progress. And Western Province fast bowler Bjorn Hendricks has been named as a replacement. He has a left lateral ankle sprain, so that is the reason why he's been left out. And Bjorn Hendricks has been brought back into the squad. So that's an update that we have for you about Lungingiri. It is a bit of a blow from that perspective. From a South African perspective, we do know the talent that Lungingiri does have, and what the talent he possesses. It's an interesting call to bring on Buren Hendricks. I was maybe thinking that must be when I saw that happening. What went through my mind is that it must be a experience thing, and the left arm option, and that's maybe perhaps why they brought him in. And he's had a good season so far. He's had a good season so far with Western Province, so those that can possibly be the reason for that. I thought that perhaps maybe they could have gone for someone like Tsepo Moreke. I think that would have been maybe a better option given his form. Um, but I don't know why that wasn't maybe looked at perhaps, um, because I think that Tsepe's performances Tsepo's performances have proven that he should be or could be uh, an interesting selection, and he should be obviously rewarded for the selection, for his performances in recent times. So yeah, that is the latest update from the squad. That's the only update we really got with regards to injuries. And so obviously the squad is going to change around from the squad that I initially showed you guys. But if you guys don't know, are not aware of what the squads are and what they are, and you haven't been on the previous show, when the previous show where we released the squads, I will show it to you right now and go through them. And as we sit here and look at the weather report, there is some update that I'd like to give you guys regarding that as well. According to the weather report that I see here, Sunday seems to be raining, 75% precipitation. So, and throughout the day, it's about a 40, 50, 65, 70% chance. So by the time that the game starts, it would be about the 65 to 70% chance of rain right through until the evening. So there is a possibility that that game could be affected or rained out, and that we won't see any match. And if we do see a match, we could possibly see a reduced match. According to what the weather report says, I've gone. Um, this is from the weather data that I see when I Google it. Um, when I do go to AccuWeather, um, to have a look at what it says over there, there is a thunderstorm in the morning, um, on Sunday, um, and there's a 55% chance of rain according to AccuWeather as well. So throughout the day, so it's possible, and in the evening, it's definitely saying here that that it is going to rain with a 75% chance. So AccuWeather is giving the same data. So ultimately, we're going to have to consider the fact or be disappointed by the fact that it might rain. We might not even get a game if it's going to rain in Durban. Um, so it could change, whether the weather is crazy, but normally in Durban, if there's rain anticipated for a game, it most likely will be rained out. But anyway, let's just talk about the squad and show you guys what the squad is. Aiden Markram will be captain. Riza Hendricks, Heinrich Klaas, and David Miller, Matthew Breedsky, and Tristan Stubbs. Those are the batters. All-rounder, Donovan Ferreira, Andile Pekwa, and Marco Jansen. Spinner, Keshav Maharaj, Debray Shamsi. Seamers are Andre Berger, Otniel Batman, Lazard Williams, and now Buren Hendricks and Gerald Coetzee, who would only be available, obviously, for the first and second T20I, as well as Marco Jansen, only for the first and second T20I. So what I would like to know from you guys at the end of the show, I think what we're going to do first and foremost is something that I really want to do is first, let's listen to Matthew Breedsky's presser. Cricket South Africa made Matthew Breedsky available for us and there is an interview with him, or a press conference with him, where questions were asked to Matthew Brzezinski. So we're going to go through that together and react to this and see what the guy had to say. It is very likely that if there's a game, then he will get his start, according to what Rob said in his presser, when him and Shukri met with the press. So it's very possible that Matthew Brzezinski would get a opening spot. He did say in the presser that Matthew Brzezinski is their opener. But let's have a listen to what he said on this particular audio file. Let's see what Matthew Brzezinski had to say.
Matthew, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us today. Just how have the preparations been going ahead of your first T20 against India on Sunday?
Yeah, it's been a slow start. I think yesterday the rain came over, so we just had an indoor practice. So, yeah, a bit of a flush out practice, but the weather looks good today. So hopefully we can get a good session out.
We also know that many senior players have been put aside for this one. What kind of game are you guys expecting from the juniors in the team?
Well, I think all the guys that have been picked have put in good performances at domestic cricket. So, yeah, from my side, it's business as usual, coming in and trying to win games for whatever team I play in, especially in our country.
And what kind of T20 match are you expecting from India? What kind of game are you expecting for them to bring with the two guys?
I think they're going to come out and play a lot of aggressive cricket, which they do in the IPL. They've also got a lot of new faces. So, yeah, just looking forward to challenging myself against best in the world.
Yeah, they've got a lot of new faces, and that's something that South Africa, I'm hoping they prepared for. They've got a lot of new faces, etc. So that is something that we should try and take advantage of. But India always has amazing talent, so we're always going to look at certain things from that perspective. We're going to have to be prepared. Never underestimate any team. I still think they have an amazing, talented team there available, and our players are going to be tested. We have more of a stronger. We could say that we have a stronger first 11 of senior players, of experienced players in the format with regards to international cricket. So South Africa should be in the driving seat from that perspective, but you never know what's going to happen. There are a few new faces, especially the bowling attack is quite fresh. So let's see how they do and how they fare.
Great, thanks, Sipakazi. We will go to those of you online. Please do indicate by raising your hand if you would like to ask a question. We'll start with Talford, then Firdose.
Thanks, Lucy. How's it, Matthew? Essentially, you're kind of in the squad to replace Quinton de Kock, which there's very big boots to fill. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really look at it like that, to be honest. I'm just grateful to be afforded the opportunity, and like I said, now I'm coming in here to win games for the team, and hopefully I can do my best.
Good that he's not looking at it like that.
Firdose, then Stu.
He should play his own natural game.
Thanks, Lucy. Hi, Matthew. Matthew, what kind of conversations have you had with Rob Walter or anyone else in terms of where they see you fitting in? I mean, I know you're going to open the batting, but in the long term, have you had any conversations about the plans and where they see you fitting in and kind of what you need to do to establish yourself in the side?
Not really, to be honest. I think I've been given the opportunity to play in this series, and if I do well, then hopefully the opportunities will keep coming. But for now, I'm just focused on the next game.
You see, I like that approach from a youngster. Getting put under pressure by the journalists. Been asked quite difficult. I would say it's a straightforward question, but it is quite difficult to answer as a youngster coming into the team, because he's just gotten this opportunity now. It's going to be up to his performances whether he's going to continuously get those opportunities. Now, I like that they're taking it day by day, game by game. Nandre Berger told us the same thing last night, that they're not going to look at it as a Proteas call-up. Yes, they're proud of it. Yes, he's proud of his call-up, etc. But he's going to try and do the best that he can game by game. So I think that's going to be something that is our youngsters need to maybe take that attitude into every single match that they play, because you can only focus and you can only control what you can control, what you are in control of. So ultimately, that is your performance on the day and in every single game that you play.
Thanks, Firdose. Stu?
Cheers. Hi, Matthew. I mean, Rob has been quite clear. You've been given a run throughout the series. Does that give you peace of mind, and how do you feel that might impact on how you will perform?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, my first game, I got the last game of the series and only got one shot at it. So hopefully I can get all the shots at this game, and it definitely frees me up to be the best I can be. And yeah, hopefully I can put in some good performances.
I must, however, say that Matthew hasn't really been opening in T20 cricket for in like the SA20, for example. I think he came in at 5 or something. So, and I don't think he's been opening up for the Warriors in T20 cricket, if I'm not mistaken. I think they have other openers for the Warriors. I think Vian Mulder, Vian Libber and Jordan Herman opened for them, I think, in T20 cricket. But Brits is going to be given a big opportunity here to open the batting. A very difficult shoes to fill, of course. Quinton de Kock was the previous opener, but I think that Riza Hendricks needs to take the lead over here which I'm assuming is going to be his opening partner.
Thanks, Stu. Percy?
Thank you so much, Lucy. Good afternoon, Matthew. Matthew, can I just check with you before I ask my question? Now, Telford asked you about possibly coming in for Quinton de Kock. Can I ask you? I know you guys don't talk about team selections before the day, but are you the man with the gloves in the series?
No.
As far as I know, I'm not.
Okay. Can I ask?
Percy, if you could just... Sorry, thank you. Sorry, go ahead, Matt.
As far as I know, I'm not the man with the gloves of the series.
First of all, can you just keep your monitor muted? It's just affecting it in the room. Thank you.
Yeah,
Sorry,
she
can you
was.
repeat that, Matt?
As far as I know, I'm not the man with the gloves for the series.
Thanks, Matt. I'm going to go Amir.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity. Maddie, it's obviously still very early. We don't know what team selections will be for the Durban match, but also for St. George's Park a couple of days later. Could you tell us what it would mean for you to play at home in the national shirt? I know you've obviously played at St. George's Park before in front of crowds, but how much more will it mean for you in the national shirt?
Yeah, it would be a dream come true, to be honest. I think, when I got selected and saw that there was one game at home, that's probably the one game I was hoping to play. So hopefully I do get an opportunity there. But like I say, it will be a seriously special moment for me and my family.
Thanks, Amir. For those in Telford.
Matthew, can you tell us a little bit about your experience in the SA20 and what you gained from that you think you can bring to international cricket?
Yeah, the experience was awesome, to be honest. I think the crowds and the way we got treated on and off the field was awesome. And I think with a tournament like the SA20, it almost gets you used to international cricket in terms of the media and the crowd. So, yeah, I mean, coming into the setup now, I feel a little bit more relaxed if I had to have come in 2-3 years ago. So that's probably what the SA20's done.
Okay, that's good.
Thanks for those. Telford?
Matthew, I'm just interested to know what it feels like. You play domestic cricket for a long time, you play some SA20, and here you are suddenly, well, maybe not so suddenly, but with a Proteas badge on your cap and on your shirt. And does that make your heart beat a little faster? What does it actually feel like?
Yeah, absolutely. It's it's a dream come true. I mean, to be in the setup and be surrounded by players that I am, it's a surreal moment. And yeah, I can't say much else about it other than I'm here to do business and win games of cricket.
Good attitude, Matt.
We're going to go with
I'm so happy to hear those things. Matt's one of my favorite players, actually.
Glad to take those.
Matthew, very simple question. How have you felt about your form with the bat this season, starting obviously with the One Day Cup and a couple of rounds of 4-day cricket?
Yeah, I've been hitting the ball really nicely. So in terms of form, I'm feeling good. The runs haven't probably been where I've wanted them to be. I've been getting out in silly ways. But in terms of the way I'm hitting the ball, it's very exciting for me.
Thanks, Stu.
Very short and
We'll
sweet
take it from
answers.
Keenan.
Thanks, Lucy. Matthew, just playing against India, it's obviously a massive team to play against. How excited are you? How do you feel about that challenge that's ahead of you?
Yeah, I can't wait. I think it's probably one of the best teams in the world, and for me to go and challenge my skills against them, yeah, it's a special opportunity, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity that Rob and the management have given me, and like I said, hopefully I can make use of it.
I love the confidence in Matthew. That's something that I really appreciate in a young player. Sometimes it's not always very. Some people might not always like it, but for me personally, when a player can to speak with that confidence and back it up, which I hope he can, then that's like the perfect player to have in your dressing room.
Matthew, also just how important is
It's important every series we play. I think it goes without saying that when you play for your country, you want to win every game. So yeah, that's been the chat. We're not here to just fill the numbers. We're here to win the series.
Good.
Matthew, we've seen a lot of talk in the last maybe 2 years or so about very aggressive approaches to batting, and I guess teams like England epitomize that. But then at the recent 50 over World Cup, we also saw that teams can sometimes take some time to really get themselves in. If you had to describe where you fall in that like spectrum in terms of your batting philosophy, how are you going to go out there? Is it like all guns blazing, or do you someone who likes to take a bit of time?
Yeah, for me, I mean, I like to play positive cricket, but I think I'll be looking to play the conditions. I think, we don't know what conditions are going to be like. So whatever the conditions are, if it's a good wicket, then I'll definitely be out there trying to put the first foot forward. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant that he's going to be assessing the wicket, assessing the conditions, and then adapting his game. Very nice to hear that. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Very short and sweet answers from Matthew Brzezinski. I don't think we could have expected a lot more. I think he just kept his calm, answered the questions as best as his ability, and is on the focus on game by game. So that's that part of the show. Now comes the part where I want to read your comments out. And I also want to see your 11s. So please put your 11s in the chat. I'm not going to read the comments from the top because otherwise, by the time you guys start talking to me about your 11s, I'm going to be like late on in the show. It's going to be quite irritating if I do that. So let's just see what some people have said over here. We're going to start with Lorenzo. He says, tell people Lungi's fitness is a huge concern, but every time you mention it, people think you have an agenda. Fact is, the guy clearly has a fitness issues throughout his career, so it's nothing new. You are correct about that. We did speak about his fitness throughout the World Cup, and Rob made a decision based on that as well in the semi-final. So there has been issues with him, with his fitness. And I hope that he can recover quickly and also improve his fitness as well. This is an ankle sprain as well, which is something that it can be reoccurring if you don't sort it out properly the first time. So I hope he does sort it out. Sam says, Andile selection, such a poor, look like he's illegal son of Rob Walter. No, don't talk nonsense, Sam. I think that out of the all-rounders that are experienced, Andile is one of the most experienced all-rounders. He's been showing a lot of changes to his game within the domestic scene, and I think that's perhaps why they picked him based on that. There are other all-rounders that we should also give an opportunity, though, in the future. I would like to see that as well, though. So I'm not going to gun against Andile, but I'm also going to say that I would also like to see some other all-rounders get an opportunity. Lawrence says, Beretsis keeps his answer short and sweet. That's good, unlike what we see from Marco at the World Cup. Yeah, I mean, Matthew Beretsis is ice cold. Cool, calm, collected. He's always been that type of person. I'm hoping that I can sometime bring him on the show after the series, maybe, so that we can have a chat and catch up and see what his experience was like. I will try and see if I can do that after the T20 series. Lorenzo says, I feel sometimes the press and we as fans put unnecessary pressure on youngsters, and that needs to stop. Yes, we need to allow them to have their chance to prove themselves. I would prefer it if a youngster comes into the game with support from everybody, and give them some time to settle in and see how they do. And then from there, we can discuss what we see with regards to technique. Is it technical problems that is giving them issue? Is it mental issues maybe that's giving them a chance? Are they batting similarly to the way they face domestically? Are they settling in? We should support our players, especially when they fail. I think, especially when they fail. Batted at 5 for DSG, but has been opening for the Warriors a lot in the past, so nothing new for him in that regard. Matthew Bresky, for me, I've always known him as an opening batter or as a number 3. Me personally, that's where I've always seen him. So that's how I've always seen him as a player. I've always wanted him to be an opener. So this isn't nothing new for him. But in T20 cricket, um, I think that his game has developed a lot to a more adaptable type of style. And I think that the T20 game will suit his style of batting ultimately. And I think that opening will actually give him more time to show his skill. Um, Obviously, Durban, if it's going to be raining and we do see a game, if it's going to be overcast and we do see a game, the ball's going to swing up front. And that's something that I would like to see how he deals with that. But as I said earlier on in the show, the rain reports aren't looking that great. The weather reports aren't looking that great. It does seem that there's a high chance of rain on Sunday. Lawrence, so most probably Klaasen with the gloves, if not Stubbs. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that Matthew would keep, because he hasn't really been keeping for the Warriors either. I mean, I know does have the ability to keep, but he hasn't kept in a long time, and I think his full focus is on batting at the moment. Hopefully, we will attack in the power play and not play second fiddle cricket. According to what Matthew said, that's how he wants to play his game and look at the conditions. If the conditions are there for him to attack, he will. Hope a few of the guys put their hands up and try to make the spots their own. I hope so too. I want Rob to have headaches when it comes to selection. No pressure on Brzezinski like there was on Marco. Nerves in World Cup semi-final, completely different kettle of fish. Brzezinski may have done the same in the World Cup. We don't know, yeah. Harley, what are your thoughts on Faf thinking of return? Why does this crap happen to us every single time before an ICC event? I've given my thoughts on Faf before. I think that if we do find a pair now during these series, because Faf won't play these series the T20 games, he won't play for South Africa. So if that's the case, and we find a partnership that is doing well, then I wouldn't want to break that and call Faf back. Because especially if Riley Rousseau is going to be playing as well, if we decide, I think we must pick between Riley and Faf. That should be the decision then. I don't think selecting both would be the right decision for the future of South African cricket. Maybe to win one particular tournament, that might be an option. But if we feel that we need to call back Faf, and it's an absolute need and a must, then by all means, for one tournament, I wouldn't mind it. But if we have players that are performing and doing well, then I wouldn't want it. I would want to see them get an opportunity. Riley Rousseau is playing Big Bash, that's why he isn't there. Yep. Okay, so Lawrence has given me his 11 for Sunday. He says Brzezinski, Riza, Markram, Stubbs, Klaasen, Miller, Janssen, Kutsia, Maharaj, Bartman, Berger, Buren. I would go with Berger, and the rest of the team would be the same for me as well. I like that lineup. I would love to see Stubbs at 4. That would be brilliant. Sam says, if this India series Pekhlakwai goes poor, then please release this guy for squad forever, he says. Wesley says 30 millimeter rain scheduled for Sunday. No point posting an 11, says Wesley. Lorenzo says, am I wrong by saying Brzezinski is more of an ODI test player rather than a T20 player? Would have preferred Brevis, to be honest. Brzezinski is, I would say that, I would have said that maybe a couple of years ago until I started watching his T20 game and how it's developed. He's really developed his T20 game a lot. I think that maybe the reason why they haven't picked Brevis is because I don't think they would have thought of opening with Brevis I think they would rather prefer to have Brewers at 3 or perhaps at 4. And I think those two spots are basically taken in Rob's mind. But I would like to see Brzezinski in one of the games coming up. Like not one of the games, sorry, one of the. I mean, I would want to see Breva, sorry, in one of the series coming up in the future. Sam's 11 is Riza Brzezinski, Stubbs at 3, Markram, Klaas and Muller, Marco Janssen, Kutsia, Maharaj, Bartman, and Nandre. Lungigiri ruled out of T20I series. Yes, I mentioned it at the top of the show, Aruna. I wouldn't have gone with Björn Hendricks, to be honest. I would have gone with someone like maybe Tsepo, or I would have gone with maybe I would have probably gone with Tsepo Moreki, to be honest. Because we already have the left arm seam of Nandre Berger. Macmillan his team is Riza, Brzezinski, Aiden, Klaassen, Stubbs, Muller, Marco, Gerald, Keshav, Bartman, and Nandre. Harley, please take Vian, Brevers, Bosch, Rickert, and Reinhardt into the show. I've interviewed all of them actually before on the show, on this channel before, but I will try my best to get them whenever there's an opportunity. Wesley says Pechlekwai averaged 13 with the ball in Test cricket, 31 in ODI, and 21 in T20 cricket. When you read the negative comments of black players for no reason, you realize they do need system support. Lorenzo says, I don't really see why they selected Bjorn, to be honest. Yes, he's a quality player, but young options would have been ideal. This is a backward selection, in my opinion. I would have gone with Tepo Moreki. The guy is such a talented cricketer, says Lorenzo. Sam says, Ethan Bosch would have been like replacement of Lungingiri with his slower balls. Katik says, who is more talent between Deva Brevers and Stubbs? It's not about talent, bro. It's about who's in form, who's performing. I think personally, at the moment, I think it's about whose game is actually more developed. And to me personally, Tristan's holistic game is more developed currently than Devat. I think there's still some things that Devat will have to learn. But I wouldn't want to compare players to each other like that. It's not about Tristan or Brevers or Brzezinski or Brevers. It's about getting opportunities for players at the right moments and the right time. I still think there's a lot for Devat to learn. He's playing 4-day cricket now. I think it's going to teach him a lot about his game. And I think players will get the opportunity when the time is right. We shouldn't be so jumpy and we shouldn't be so, what's the word I'm looking for? We shouldn't be so quick to want to give people debuts. I think allow players to develop and develop their games and build their foundations correctly. Lorenzo says, yes, Faf was absolutely great and he's a legend, but if it's between Riley and Faf, I take Riley all day long. We need that explosive, no BS cricketer in T20 cricket, as that's what we are lacking currently. Lauren says, I agree. Definitely between Riley and Faf for a spot at the World Cup. It's been raining bats and frogs in Durban plenty the last while. We do need many rain dances here going to be wet weekend again. Lauren says, the reason I said it's between Bjorn and Nandre for a spot is because of the numbers. So in that regard, I would not be surprised if Bjorn comes straight in. Our numbers are fine though, isn't it? If we've got Brzezinski and we've got Riza. What, Neil? I don't know how they're going to work the numbers properly. We'll have to see how they're going to what that's going to be. We'll know by when they pick the first 11. Wesley, is it possible to get Herman Rolfs on the show? He had such a great 2018 under-19 ODI World Cup, then disappeared 5 years, but he's back in SA cricket for Mpumalanga. He's talented. Is he back? Because I will try to get him on the show. I had a conversation with him, I think 2 years ago. He gave up cricket to play some. He gave up cricket to He gave up cricket to do engineering, and he was happy doing that. So I will message him again and see how he's doing, and then perhaps bring him on the show again. Because I did call him for an interview previously, and he obviously wasn't playing cricket at the time and was happy with his studies. Khalid, will you do SA under 19 coverage on under 19 World Cup is coming soon? I believe a lot of talented youngsters in that team. Yeah, I will be doing shows where we cover that as well. Khalid, I just think we as fans and Rob and them needs to give Riza plenty of time in both T20Is and ODIs. Riza, in my opinion, is the one player who absolutely deserves an extended run. We all know why. I think he should get a extended run, particularly in the series. Definitely. I'm actually not fussed at DB not being selected for the T20 series. 100% agree with Khalid. This thing is about just handing out protest caps because of our hype is not for me. DB will get his chance. DB will get his chance. I don't think we should try and fast track youngsters too soon. Sometimes that could mess up a youngster's career. If he's ready and Rob thinks he's ready, Dewat will always feel he's ready. It's the type of player he is. But I think that there's a lot of things with certain players. We need to give them time to play some domestic cricket, find their game. I mean, they're playing against senior men now, so that's also something. So that's also something we need to look at. Lorenzo says, "Isn't it sad? Isn't it sad? Isn't it sad that it's becoming the norm that we have to talk about numbers for our national cricket team? I stand by no politics in sport." Wakas George says, "Hey Khalid, bro, and everybody. How's it, Wakas? Welcome to the show." So yeah, on today's show, guys, I ran through the weather report, which is probably going to be the main deciding factor of obviously if we're going to get a game or not. I went through Matthew Breedsky's presser, and we reacted to that. And I went through your comment sections. We went through some of the 11s. I agreed with Lawrence's selection and with Nandre Berger playing. And I know why he said Buren, obviously, because he was considering the numbers. And I've basically covered everything that we could with regards to this particular first game. Also, congratulations to SAA. Patterson took another 4 wickets. They almost blew it actually with Joshua De Silva's 100 there, but they won by 76 runs, I think it is. So it was quite a convincing victory after that 421 target that they posted. Thanks to a Zubair Hamza century, very important for him, and Ruan de Swat batted excellently, and I was very happy for him as well. Lawrence asking about the SAA squad. Yes, tomorrow. I think it's supposed to, I agree with Kelly over there. I think it's going to be tomorrow that they release it, because Monday is the first game, which is crazy that it's running with everything like that. So congratulations to the SAA team. The under 19 squad was also announced today. The under 19 World Cup squad. That was also announced. Oh yes, I want to also something about the SA. I mean the SA versus India series as well. Cricket South Africa regrets to announce that it is unable to strike a deal with SABC to broadcast the 2023-24 India tour to South Africa on a free-to-air television. For the past few months, CSA and SABC have been involved in protracted negotiations, and the free-to-air broadcast rights of the India tour, which are exclusively owned by CSA for a purpose of ensuring that cricket is accessible to the larger South African population. On 29 November, CSA finally received an offer from the SABC for the broadcast rights at a massively discounted rate. In view of the significant audience in the SABC enjoys, which meets CSA's aim of growing cricket across all sectors of South African society, CSA was eager to ensure that the India tour was available on free-to-air TV. So CSA tried their best to do this. CSA responded on the SABC 6 working days later on 7 December, accepting their offer in totality. Regrettably, hours after CSA's full acceptance of the offer, the SABC informed CSA that they are unable to broadcast the India tour due to withdrawal of potential sponsors. The free-to-air rights remain available, and should the SABC be able to attract sponsorship, CSA will be willing to conclude an agreement which will ensure the India tour is enjoyed by millions of South Africans. So that is something that took place today regarding the India tour. So SABC will most likely not be playing cricket, which is extremely sad. We want cricket to be shown to the masses, and unfortunately, SABC is struggling to get sponsorships. Makes it difficult for them to obviously get the money to buy the rights to play it. So that is a bit of an unfortunate one. I just want to share with you guys the press release as well of the SA Under 19 squad, seeing that this is the daily show as well in one. Cricket South Africa has named the 15-player squad that will represent South Africa at the Under 19 Men's World Cup 2024 to be held in South Africa across January and February. The South African Under 19s will be captained by Lions batter David Teager and feature the top youth cricketers from around the country. Some of those players have been seeing their profiles rise in the past few months, including Lions trio Kwena Mapaka, Luandre Pretorius, Richard Seletswani, as well as Devon Marais from Easterns. The hosts are pooled with England, Scotland, and the West Indies in Group B. As part of their preparations, Malibunga Maketa's side will travel to Durban today for a week-long camp, where they will enjoy some game time through 2 practice matches against Zimbabwe Under 19s on 9 and 11 December at the Chatsworth Oval in Pietermaritzburg. I like the way this team is being managed. These matches will be followed by a practice match against KwaZulu-Natal Under 19s on 13 December at the same venue. Commenting on the final selection, SA Under 19s convener of selectors Patrick Monroe said, "I extend my congratulations to each player who has secured spot in the World Cup squad. Their inclusion is well deserved. The group of young cricketers has demonstrated exceptional abilities and potential. We have full confidence in their capabilities and are excited to see them compete at the highest level, especially with the added pride of playing in front of our home crowd. We had initially selected 3 spinners in the provisional 18-player squad in the anticipation of subcontinent conditions in Sri Lanka. But with the tournament now taken in South Africa and the changing conditions, we have named 2 specialist spinners and extra cover within our fast bowling group. And I would like to wish the players and the support staff well for the tournament and anticipate an exciting World Cup campaign." CSA Director of Cricket Enoch Nkwes said, "After months of hard work, we are pleased to see such a well-rounded squad that will represent South Africa at the World Cup. The quality of this group shows the amount of work that has gone in behind the scenes through the CSA pipeline, and I have no doubt that they will do us proud next year." So here's the squad for you: David Teager, Iroza Aevba, Joan James, Martin Kumalo, Kwena Mapaka, Devon Marais, Riley Norton, Kobani Mukwana, Ramashan Pillay, Sipo Potsane, Luandre Pretorius, Richard Seletswane, Oliver Whitehead, Steve Stork, and Ntando Zuma. That is your team. And then your management will be Malibunga Maketa, Blanche Conradi as team manager, Tabang Kumalo as fielding coach, Justin Simmons as batting coach, Paul Adams as bowling coach, Kurtley Diesel, strength and conditioning coach, Salih Solomon as team doctor, Saniq Jordan as physiotherapist, and Carl Southgate as performance analyst. So that is who is going to be your squad for the Under 19 World Cup. So yeah, let's just see some of your last comments before I say bye to you guys. Not everyone has $1,000 just to watch cricket every month. Sad that millions won't be able to watch two good sides. Yeah, that's unfortunate because SuperSport only makes cricket available to your full-time subscribers, which makes it tough for anybody else to watch cricket. That's the trick. That's the key that we don't understand. Some people don't understand. They don't have it on their compact options. They have cheaper options, but cricket is not on that cheaper options. SABC robbed by ANC comrades. That's why they ain't got money. Wesley says, very talented is right, Scott. We should be looking to win this World Cup. Lawrence is not going to lie, Khalid. I'm looking differently at David Teager now. Harsh, I know. I'm just being real. He's entitled to his opinion, of course, so no issues with that. Is Pat Moreau still part of CSA? He's the selector of the under-19s, convener. Richard Seretswani was a man machine, was a run machine for Cincinnatians. Don't be surprised if he gets a franchise contract soon or even international honors. We got a lot of players directly from under-19 World Cup, and that's true. He's a very talented player. I like what I've seen from him so far. But guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Click that notification bell for all future videos. I'd also like you guys to please download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. The link is on the screen right now, as well as in the description. Please go ahead and do so straight away. We do have the latest issue available for you to download, and you'll get it upon subscription. And then you will also have access to all the other back issues 100% free. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you guys again for another daily show. Stay safe, enjoy the weekend, enjoy the rest of your evening. Peace out.